Please consider this checklist to be an individual pledge from me to you. Eventually, I have to live up to my name, so these videos will make you scared. Number 12.
Lil Mayo, you out here?
Spectators look up at a strange white light piercing the sky. Adults and children alike congregate in the street, cell phones in hand. None of them can understand what is going on, let alone put it into words. The entire unpleasant experience resembles a helicopter searchlight, except it makes no noise and does not move at all. A NASA experiment or even a portal to another dimension is two other probabilities, however unlikely. No matter what this is, it occurred somewhere in California in October of 2018 and has never been adequately explained. Number 11. Sophie Darcy seems to be a gifted contortionist with a twisted sense of humor. She's doing a crab walk backwards at full speed, her head barely hanging above the floor. Even though this is a really creative and brilliant way to make people shake in their shoes that I've never seen before, I can't help but think it's a little risky as well. I mean, unless she walks like this and steps on her hair, her neck could not snap all the way back. Perhaps although I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, I believe I see it almost occur many times when she races down the aisle, adding an entirely new level of fear to the situation. Number 10. This Iraqi child is unlike her peers in many ways, including the lack of pigmentation in her skin and hair. However, most essentially, she has bright red eyes. Her red eyes imbibe all of the light instead of reflecting it, which is why she screws up her eyes into the camera. Although her parents consider her scarce eye color to be a blessing, others consider it to be a curse. It turns out that in many cultures, red eyes are a near comprehensive sign of possession. Even though I suspect that is the case here, some irrational people will be careful of her before they have an opportunity to learn more about her. Her red eyes will remain this way for the rest of her life, hopefully without causing her any social stigma. Number 9. The Exorcist's head spinning scene is one of the most iconic fear and trembling moments in film history, and they must draw plans of this horrifying life-sized dummy to pull it off. Let's forget about Annabelle. This horrendous doll from The Exorcist is so well animated that it's sometimes difficult to tell the difference between it and its living counterpart. Take a look at this behind-the-scenes video, for example. I would have believed you if you said to me this was a real person on the left, especially back then. It's beyond creepy to watch them open up the doll's head and flake off back layers of skin to try to mend its insides. It's almost as if you're looking forward to it to spin around and bite off their fingers at any moment. The doll's eyes move so persuasively during this scene that I always thought it was a real person. When you consider that this film was released in 1973, you'll notice how modern the special effects were. These scenes are so good that they still make people freezing over 40 years later, and probably for the rest of time. Number 8. This video was shot in Shanghai, China, near the Pearl Tower. The forewarning indicates that it will be cloudy, and thunder can be heard in the distance. People appear to have started recording when they watched someone who appeared to be levitating or hanging off the tower. There is a sudden surge of lightning, and it seems that this person is acting as a lightning rod for the reason that he has been shocked numerous times by the lightning. However, the man is unharmed and remains suspended in mid-air. Because I couldn't discover any additional information about the incident, it seems we'll never know what occurred to this person beyond the recording of this video, assuming it's real. Number 7. This nearby lake is not only defluent but also freezing. A massive mass of jagged ice is now thrusting past the shore. Even though the atypical weather is initially entertaining to play in when the lake goes on overflowing, they become aware of their homes will soon be in the path of the carnage. The expanding mass of ice shards crackles loudly when it moves past their yard and up to their front door. The situation turns amusing into desperate in less than a minute.
It's hitting the houses. It's crawling up the walls of the houses. Oh my god, their door's in!
By this point, the ice has accumulated to such an extent that an entire lake's worth of frozen water threatens to thrust the houses off their foundations. Within 6 minutes, the whole scenery had transformed from luxuriant greenery to solid frost. I'm predicting they must finish recording and flee soon after. Number 6. Randy Doss claims to live in a ghostly house and provides video evidence to back up her claim.
I dare you to slam that door.
They begin recording this video after the door opens on its own, at which point they attempt to persuade the spirit to do something else. With that said, the ghost appears to accept the challenge. If you look through the crack in the door, you'll notice that there's no one on the other side.
No.
Just for the record, it's only Nick and I here.
This occurs just as the door is about to slam shut.
Oh my god, no! Oh my god!
Whoa.
The conspicuous answer is that even though there is a child on the other side of the door, take another look. This seems to be nothing more than a vacant sleeve, and it does not get in touch with the door at all. This leads me to believe that whatever pushed the door open may have also rustled the nearby jacket. Number 5. A user named Ryan Cool Vids pointed this video out to me on the Chills Narrator subreddit. A family's baby monitor in Michigan detects a transparent figure who is briskly walking by their sleeping daughter's crib. A few moments later, the toddler pokes his head out to see whether one of their parents is in the room, but they are nowhere to be found. The strangest and most terrifying aspect is how the figure literally disappears seconds after passing by the crib. It moves across the room and then vanishes before reaching the doorway, almost as if it were an emotionally charged event doomed to repeat itself indefinitely. Number 4. The closer you zoom in on this archived 2001 video, the more frightening it becomes. In the bottom center, you can watch an impoverished person waving powerlessly at the rescue workers below. The firefighters can't do much because the ladders are not long enough to reach the floor where they're stuck. I can only think what's going through their heads presently, that they're trapped with nowhere to go. And, though you can't see it, there's another person waving frantically to their right. I sincerely hope these two were fortunate enough to make it to the bottom floor. Nevertheless, if they're trapped on the edge like this, their opportunities are sadly very slim. It is always difficult to watch these videos, and my heart goes out to everyone who was exerted influence on that fateful day. Number 3. A user named Bbors also posted this video on my Chills Narrator subreddit. Whenever they come to this particular highway intersection, their Lexus begins to beep out of control.
Okay, this intersection, it always happens here.
These advanced car senses are intended to warn the driver if someone is in front of the vehicle. Even though there is no one nearby, both of the yellow arrows are lit, indicating that it discovers someone straight ahead. After a few seconds, you can notice that only the right arrow is on, indicating that someone is going to the right. I just would like to emphasize that this never occurs at other intersections, only this one. According to Bbors, this incidental has happened 4 times in the last 2 years. With this proof in mind, this crisscrossing could very well be the haunting ground of someone who did not make it across the road alive. Number 2. These videos were shot at the 2018 Global Citizen Music Festival in New York City. Everyone is getting a buzz out of the late-night concert until a crowd of people attempts to flee, resulting in a stampede. There doesn't seem to be anyone that knows what they are fleeing, and they won't discover for a long time, but everyone is moving quickly and terrified for their lives. Their voices are full of panic, and raw fear fuels every step they take as they grab their friends and attempt to flee as quickly as they can.
What the f just happened?
What's going on? Do you know what?
I have no idea what's happening.
When a top NYPD officer enters the stage and makes a brief but solemn announcement, the situation becomes all too genuine.
Please, everybody stop! Remain calm! Remain calm! Try and open up the fence in the back! We'll try and get everybody, remain calm! Try and move backwards!
The police will only say, "Try to move backwards," with no further explanation, which causes even more uproar. Even though those who make it out discover that the entrance is swarming with emergency vehicles, no one knows why. The origin of the commotion turned out to be a large steel barricade that collapsed and made a loud banging noise. It appeared that the bang echoed throughout the place and sounded like someone firing a firearm, causing a panic. I see in the mind's eye how anxiety-ridden this must have been for everyone, especially since they had no idea what was wrong at the time. By good fortune, a strong police attendance could remain the evacuation orderly and prevented people from trampling over one another. Number 1. Even gated security cannot keep this complete stranger from prowling around people's homes in Las Vegas. He was grabbed on a doorbell camera in the middle of the night standing outside someone's door. While in a trance-like state, you are able to see him freeze in place and look inside their window. He appears to be contemplating a significant decision. He turns around while taking a blade with the tip facing outwards. The man wanders around the upscale neighborhood for more than 3 hours seeking who has an idea of what. And if anyone had put an end to question him, I'm sure he'd have let his blade do the talking. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every day. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of my other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy.